All right, America, I'm glad to have my brother Ray Caesar Leo with me for another one of Ray's takes. Caesar, what you got for the people today, dog?
Man, a couple of weeks ago we had an opportunity to get back to the Hall of Fame of the NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They took a year off and they introduced two classes, 2020 and 2021, and some of the greatest names that we've heard in the sport. Right, for a Cowboys fan like myself, I was so happy that Drew Pearson got in. Man, after years of being denied, a member of the All Decades team in the '70s, played alongside Roger Staubach. Right, so like, if that's his go-to receiver and they won Super Bowls, two in the '70s, then he should be in. Jimmy Johnson, the guy who led us, who brought us back, in the Hall of Fame. In my opinion, the second greatest receiver of all time, Megatron, Calvin Johnson, in the Hall of Fame. Bill Cowher, one of the greatest coaches, in the Hall of Fame. So we saw some great names go in. But I want to look ahead, man. Right, that's in the past. You know how quickly we get over stuff and want to, move right ahead. I want to talk about what the next class might look like. So there are guys left over that didn't get picked, guys like Darren Woodson, right, to play for the Cowboys, that I think should be in there. But I want to talk about the first year of eligibility, guys who are just now eligible to go into the Hall of Fame. And I just want to have a discussion, brother. I just want to see what you think when you see these names that are eligible for the first time to go into the Hall of Fame. So we're going to share the screen, man. We're going to make sure the guys are able to see who are some of those folks who could possibly go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here's the first five. Now, this isn't the complete list, by the way, but these are the 10 that I think should and could garner consideration. Anquan Bolden, the name says it for himself, right? Anquan Bolden, Offensive Rookie of the Year in 03, played 14 years in the NFL, three-time Pro Bowler. He's 9th all-time in receptions, 14th all-time reception yards, and 25th all-time in TDs. My favorite thing about him, though, he's a 2015 Walter Payton Man of the Year. That should not go unnoticed with anybody who's ever won that award, because it's a true award of service. So I always want to give a shout-out to guys who win that award. It's going to be some receivers, big-time receivers that follow up on that list. You see Andre Johnson on there as well, right? Andre Johnson had 5 all-pro seasons in 14 years. He's 11th all-time reception yards and receptions, 46 all-time in touchdowns. Steve Smith, you see him on the list as well, 16 years, 12th all-time in receptions, 8th in reception yards, 28th in TDs. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a minute so we can talk this out. Here's why I think it's tough. First of all, when you hear those names, what kind of goes through your mind, brother?
All of them are Hall of Famers in my book.
Are they first ballot, though? And as you think about it, let me give the audience
okay. This is my thing about Andre.
Okay.
I was about to say no to all of them.
Okay.
Then Dre Dog got me feeling some type of way.
Hey,
because you telling me Dre Dog had 5 all pros
and 7 Pro Bowls.
But you know how I feel about the Pro Bowl. It's them all pros.
It is. It's the all pros.
He did that with who at quarterback? Matt
I don't know. Derek Carr,
the most notable guy he had.
I know.
Derek Carr.
I know. And it's crazy because that's the one receiver that I said, if he's going to be first ballot, it's that guy. And that's no slight at Anquan Bolden and Steve Smith. They're going to the Hall of Fame. Don't get it twisted. Those guys will be in the Hall of Fame. They'll get gold jackets.
Oh yeah.
Out of the 3, Steve Smith is my favorite just because he's small in stature like myself, but he backed it up every Sunday. So you got to respect that guy. Here's why I worry, though. If anyone they could be first ballot. If there's going to be a first ballot, it's Andre Johnson. But here's the problem. So Megatron went in. Calvin Johnson went in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. You know how many first ballot Hall of Fame wide receivers we've had in history?
It's tough to do that.
7.
They didn't even get at the TO.
Think about, they didn't do that to Michael Irvin. They didn't do that to Chris Carter. Right? Let me give you the names of just some
disrespectful to Chris Carter.
Right? Let me give you some of the first ballot Hall of Fame. But this is how your name has to resonate in pro football. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Steve Largent, right? Trying to think of another one. Alford, Lance Allworth from the Chargers from back in the day. Like your name has to be transcended, and Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson played 9 years in the NFL, right? We know he ended his career early. That was a choice that he made just because of the wear and tear, right? But in those 9 years, he had 5 All-Pro seasons. The same amount.
That's what I was about to look up.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Now
man.
And now it's looking.
That's what it takes. Like you have to be, literally, you have to be. And if you look, and if you think about it, they break it down, man. You have to be the greatest of your generation to go in as a first ballot wide receiver. Because just think about it. So here are the guys. I just pulled it up. Raymond Berry, 1973. Lance Allworth, 1978. Paul Warfield, 1983. Steve Largent, 95. Jerry Rice, 2010. Randy Moss, 2018. So if you notice what they're doing, they're pretty much breaking it up almost by decade, almost by your generation. You have to be the best receiver of your generation to go in as a first ballot wide receiver. So I don't know if any of them will get in, but I think, I know all 3 of those guys are going in. But if any of them have a shot of being first ballot, is probably going to be Andre Johnson, just because of what he meant to that franchise with the Texans as they were kind of just upstarting, and the way that he dominated the game for his 14-year career.
T.O. got 5 All-Pros as well.
You see what I'm saying? And T.O. is literally one of the greatest receivers ever. In not just in stats, but when you step on the field, he's just one of the greatest receivers of all time. So it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough.
I don't think they're gonna put Dre first ballot though.
It's tough. All right. So,
but okay. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna throw this name out, and with this one, I'll bring up the second list. All right.
Hold on. There's some stuff on that first list.
Okay, but we can go back. We can go back to it. That's not a problem. We can go back to it.
It's some on that first list now. And you know what it is.
Let me bring
We're not gonna dance around it. You know what it is.
All right, I see it. I see it. So, I'll leave it up for a second, y'all. He's talking about number 4, Tony Romo.
Yes, I am.
He is, and I put him in there only because he's eligible. I don't want people to think, oh man, Ray tripping because he's a Cowboys fan.
I heard them. They mentioned it on TV, and when they mentioned it, then my head flipped around like they Ike Turner meme.
You have to mention it for 2 reasons. One, because yes, he plays for the Dallas Cowboys, right? The other reason is he was undrafted. I think if you look at Tony Romo's stats as an undrafted free agent, it's quite remarkable, man. It really is. I know, we joke about it, but like the stuff that he put together is quite ridiculous. Pro Bowls, playoff appearances, whether he wanted them or not, to go from undrafted to being a guy who was a starting quarterback and a perennial Pro Bowler, that's very impressive. Now, with all that being said, Tony Romo does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
I was about to say, he better not get in.
All right? He does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. There are plenty of quarterbacks in his era, not just all time, in his era, that should go in before him. And that's just the name of the game, man. The elite of the elite. I heard a player say, this is not the Hall of Good. This is the Hall of Great. This is the Hall of Fame. Tony Romo is the Hall of Very Good. He should go in as a broadcaster when his career is over, because he's a phenomenal broadcaster. But as far as a quarterback, no sir, he should not be in there.
He got 4 Pro Bowls, but never an All-Pro.
Never an All-Pro.
That's first or second team, man.
Yeah, and never ever even made it to a conference title game. So that's what I'm saying. Like we have to be real about this. Tony Romo does not deserve to ever go in the Hall of Fame. Not even, after death. Let's just be real about it. He's an all-time great when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, but not when we're talking about all-time great in the history of the NFL. All right. Here are your next 5 that I want to talk about. DeMarcus Ware, Devin Hester, Vince Wilfork, Robert Mathis, and Mario Williams. Man, when I see those names, That's a tough list, man.
D well bad, man.
Especially those first three. So to that point,
D well might have to go.
the only person on this list, and I mean all 10, that Ray Coleman says is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer is DeMarcus Ware.
That was a bad boy.
And not just because he's a former Dallas Cowboy, because remember, he won Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos, right? He won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. He made his hay with the Cowboys. But let me give you DeMarcus Ware stats, all right? 12 years in the NFL, 9 Pro Bowls. My brother say he don't care about that. Let me tell you what he does care about. 7 All-Pros.
Oh, my God.
7 of them.
My God.
And he's 9th all-time in career sacks. He's top 10. Let me tell you something. When you're top 10 in career sacks, you're hanging out with Kevin Green, Lawrence Taylor, right? You're hanging out with those guys, man. Reggie White, you know what I mean? Those guys, all-time greats. And when you mention their name, you know what it means. They're going to get the quarterback. DeMarcus Ware out of Troy University came in. I'll never forget when Bill Parcells drafted him. I said, who is this guy from Troy University? And they put him in that 3-4 man, and all he did for 12 years was dominate, right? Nobody could hold him. Even when he got to Denver and he was a little long in the tooth, his craft, the way he worked on his craft, kept him relevant and dominant. So out of all of the folks on that list, DeMarcus Ware has the greatest chance of being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably the only one, too, unless, brother, they do something crazy, and I think they should. I don't think they will, but I think they should. Devin Hester should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's the all-time leader in returns.
In punt returns. Right? He is. Not only that.
He was electric.
4-time All-Pro. Mm-hmm. All right. Played 11 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. All-decade team in 2000s and 2010. Okay. And he was on the NFL 100th anniversary team. Now, yes, some people are going to say he came in as a DB. He couldn't cover anybody. He switched to receiver. He wasn't that great of a receiver. That's fine. But when you talk about changing the game and special teams, we had coaches say all the time, it's 3 parts to a football game. Offense, defense, special teams.
Yeah.
Well, nobody.
As an NFC North guy, you know.
Come on now. Talk about it.
And so I've seen many a Chicago Bear game. Those boys were defense. Devin Hester.
Yeah.
And then whatever they can muster on offense. That's how it went.
that was the order. Seriously.
We're going to play good defense. Lovie Smith had them boys playing good defense. Yeah. Okay. And then you're going to scheme to try to get them to kick to Devin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, excuse me. The other team gonna try to scheme on how not to kick it to Devin. Like he really had folks in a bind.
I know.
In terms of, and they were shanking punts sometimes, trying to keep it away from him. Because if you kicked it to him, if he didn't take it to the house, he was gonna give them good field position.
Great field position.
And they needed it with Rex Grossman as their quarterback.
It's the truth. The guy.
Yeah.
The guy is
I can feel you on
it's
that.
Generational. That's what the Hall of Fame is all about. Generational talent. It's not the Hall of Good, it's the Hall of Great.
He's the return guy of his generation.
He's a return guy of his generation. And if we hype up Deion Sanders, head coach at Jackson State, for his return ability, right? That's a lot of what you see in his highlights. I'm just telling you, the stats say that Devin Hester's better than him at that part of the game. He's literally better. 14 punt returns all the time. That didn't even include kick returns. All right.
And we may never see anybody catch.
We'll never see that
if we
again.
throw in the kick return because, they've legislated basically the kick return out.
We'll never see that again. I'm just telling y'all the way that the safety issue has occurred in the game. They've moved the kickoff up. Guys are kicking the ball out of the back of the end zone every other time. You're never going to see Devin Hester's stats be broken. So why not? He changed the game when it comes to return game and specialties. That's why I have him listed as a specialist, not a DB, not a wide receiver. That doesn't matter. But when it came to setting his team up with a short field or taking it the distance, nobody in the history of the game is better than Devin Hester. So if you can say that out loud and believe it and agree on it, then he should be in the Hall of Fame.
First ballot, though? We putting it on something?
First ballot. And if they don't, it's simply because they don't have the guts to do it. The numbers speak for themselves. I'll say it again. 4-time All-Pro. Not Pro Bowl, All-Pro. 11 years in the game. 14 punt returns, that's all time. All decade, not just in the 2000s, but the 2010s as well. Okay. So that shows you he was changing the game the entire way.
Let me pull your coat on this, because this will say a lot.
Yeah.
About whether or not he gets in first ballot. Do you think Adam Vinatieri gets in first ballot?
I don't think he will, but I think he should. Okay. I think he should because Adam Vinatieri has made some of the biggest kicks in NFL history. And it's not just kicks, it's game-winning kicks in playoffs and championships. You get what I'm saying? Like, his kicks determine championships and postseason advancement. So I know a lot of times we hype them up in small talk, but then when it comes time to acknowledge them, we don't. When it comes to putting them in the hall or giving them their just due. But a guy like Adam Vinatieri, it doesn't matter that he just kicked. His kicking was everything.
Okay. I'm looking up Ray Guy right now. You know, former Southern Miss punter.
That's right. Shout out to Ray Guy.
Ray Guy is like the guy for punters in NFL history.
He is
He's
the GOAT.
Hall of Famer.
Yep.
But doesn't look like he was a first ballot guy.
He was not.
I'm just trying to look at other specialists and see if the Hall let these guys go in there. Like, I'm with you though. If you were, I know how folks feel about those specialist positions. Okay, cool.
Yep.
But if you transcended the position so much so that I know your name as Ray Guy, you know what I'm saying? Now, even if I didn't go to Southern Miss, we would know his name because they bring his name. If somebody has a high punt, like with the Cowboys, you know, they kick the punt so high, it'll hit y'all big scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like when stuff like that happens, who name they bring up? Ray Guy.
Ray Guy. They came up with hang time because of Ray Guy.
Ray Guy.
Yeah.
Vinatieri, like you're talking about, for years on now, when somebody make a clutch kick, they're going to bring up Vinatieri.
That's correct.
And if somebody take one to the house,
it's Devin Hester.
Got to bring up Devin Hester or Prime. And Prime
is in the Hall of Fame.
Now, Prime is in there. Don't hit us in the comments. We know what Prime in there for.
He's in there for his cover skills and his braggadocious and his charismatic. We know
Prime covers what water covers 2/3 of the earth,
and he covers the rest. We got that. We understand that.
Okay,
we understand it. We are students of all game. We got that.
Yeah.
All right.
We got
but I'm just telling y'all, Devin Hester.
He was a game changer.
He was a game changer.
We had to kick from him. As a Green Bay Packer fan, we had to kick away from that scam.
Yeah, man. And so my hope is that he goes in first ballot because he deserves it. Because again, when you change the game, you're supposed to go in, right? I don't know if they will because just judging by their track record, he probably won't. I think he'll get in, but he should be in first ballot. Out of all of these guys, DeMarcus Ware should be the only guy that's sitting back just like, I'm just waiting for that knock on the door. You know, we all see the videos and the knock on the door from the I can't think of his official title, but the guy who comes and lets you know that you're a part of the Hall of Fame. I don't know if they call him commissioner or president.
Crying.
Because they know, man, that's the best part about it. Anybody that plays in the NFL has my respect because it's literally the most elite guys of their era. But then when you start saying, man, my name could be mentioned, DeMarcus Ware can have his name mentioned with LT and Deacon Jones and Reggie White. Man, that transcends everything. He watched those guys, you know, growing up at some point and thought, those are my heroes, but now his name can be mentioned amongst them. Devin Hester idolized Deion Sanders. Well, now his bust can sit right next to his. It's crazy, man. I get chills every time I watch a Hall of Fame induction because you read about these guys and you watch them play every Sunday if you're a diehard fan like we are, and you see the work that they put in, and then you watch them play, and then to see all that hard work pay off at the end, it does give you chills. It really does. So my hope is that the guys who deserve it go in. Andre Johnson, Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith, DeMarcus Ware absolutely deserve to go in. Tony Romo, he's fine. He's going to make more money calling games than he is playing for the Cowboys, believe it or not. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Well, no matter who goes in, I know my wife will be watching. My wife, this is one of the weirdest things about my bride. She will not watch the games.
Yeah.
So what these guys have been gifted with, their athletic ability.
Yeah.
She don't care nothing about that.
Yeah.
She loves to hear Hall of Fame speeches. She watches basketball and football.
Yeah.
She watches them religiously. She watches them over and over again. So she will be tuned in next year to see whoever goes in.
Yeah.
America, y'all tell us what y'all think. Do y'all agree with my brother? He had a hot take. He put it on something though.
Yeah, DeMarcus Ware's going in first ballot. Absolutely.
Okay. That one right there, I think most of y'all gonna agree with if you've been watching the game of football.
And I'm calling it. Devin Hester should be in there first ballot.
That's the one. That's the one. Y'all tell us what y'all think. Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me across all social media platforms. Like the videos and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.